JC Production.
Hi guys, Apple iPad Air 4, latest features and specs. Please subscribe followed by the bell. You can also keep up on Facebook, Twitter by clicking the links in the description. The 10.8-inch iPad Air is coming in the second half of 2020. There's been some confusion over this 10.8 or 11-inch model, as there have been some reports that have indicated there's a 10.8-inch low-cost iPad coming, and others that suggest it's an iPad Air. According to DigiTimes, it's an iPad Air rather than an iPad. The next generation version of the iPad Air is to feature a USB-C port like the iPad Pro, instead of a Lightning port. Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, Apple will release an 10.8-inch iPad in the second half of 2020. Kuo has not specified if the 10.8-inch iPad is an Air or a low-cost standard iPad, but based on other rumors, the device is likely to be an iPad Air model. Apple will release the iPad Air 4 in September 2020, with the tablet expected to feature an A14 processor, an 11-inch display, a smart connector to work with the Magic Keyboard, 4 stereo speakers, and a USB-C. The rumors we've heard about the upcoming device. It appears to feature an all-screen display, but instead of adopting Face ID, it uses Touch ID built into the power button of the device. That's a bit different from other rumors that have indicated the new iPad will feature an under-display version of Touch ID instead of Face ID. Apple said that the entry model price starts from $499 10.5-inch iPad Air that serves as a middle-tier iPad option between the lower-end $329 9.7-inch iPad and the higher-end $799 11-inch and 12.9-inch iPad Pro models. The tagline for the new iPad Air is "Power isn't just for the pros," which is fitting because while the iPad Air shares some features with the iPad Pro models, it doesn't have all of the pro-oriented bells and whistles in order to keep costs lower. Apple's iPad Air features the same thin and light enclosure that was used for the now discontinued 10.5-inch iPad Pro, which it replaces. At just 6.1mm thick and with a weight of a pound, it's portable and lightweight. It is available in gold, silver, and space gray with either 6. Unlike the iPad Pro, the iPad Air does not adopt the thin wraparound bezels, the square enclosure, or the front-facing Face ID camera, instead continuing to use a tapered body design with thick bezels at the top and bottom to support the Touch ID home button that it continues to offer. Like older iPad models, it still has a headphone jack, a feature eliminated in the iPad Pro. The iPad Air includes the same laminated display technology that was in the 10.5-inch iPad Pro, offering a 2224 by 1668 Retina display with True Tone for adjusting the white balance of the display to match the lighting in the room, and wide color for vivid true-to-life colors. Support for the first-generation Apple Pencil is included, and there's a smart connector on the side of the iPad Air that works with Apple's Smart Keyboard. At the bottom of the iPad Air, there's a Lightning port for charging purposes, as only the iPad Pro models have adopted USB-C inside the iPad Air. There's an A14 Bionic chip with Neural Engine and M12 coprocessor, the same hardware used in the most recent iPhone models. It offers the same all-day battery life as other iPads. Rear camera technology is one area where Apple aimed to keep costs of the new iPad Air lower, so it uses an 8-megapixel f2.4 rear camera, rather than the newer 12-megapixel f1.8 camera tech in the iPad Pro. It's the same camera that's used in the lower-cost iPad and the iPad Mini 5, and it maxes out at 1080p video recording. At the front, there's a 7-megapixel FaceTime HD camera, which is the same camera that was in the previous generation iPad Pro. It supports Retina Flash, live photos, and 1080p video recording, but lacks Smart HDR and features that come with a TrueDepth camera, such as portrait mode and Memoji. There are 2 speakers instead of 4 like in the iPad Pro, and it uses Bluetooth 5.0 technology, Wi-Fi 800 2.11 AC, Gigabit class LTE on cellular models. The iPad Air features an 8-megapixel rear-facing camera with an f2.4 aperture, which is the same camera that's available in the 9.7-inch iPad. It supports live photos, auto HDR, 43-megapixel panoramas, burst mode, and timer mode, but it is not as advanced as the upgraded 12-megapixel camera in the iPad Pro, making rear camera one of the major differentiating factors between the iPad Air and the iPad Pro. There is also no rear flash. A laminated display, used in all iPads with the exception of the 9.7-inch model, combines the coverglass, touch sensor, and LCD into a single layer that reduces thickness and brings the LCD layer closer to the user's eyes for a more immersive experience. P3 wide color gamut support is included for rich, vivid colors that are true to life and accurate, which is ideal for artists, and there's True Tone support. The iPad Air's camera is able to capture 1080p HD video at 30 frames per second, and 720p slow-mo video at 120 frames per second. The front-facing camera is better than the camera in the 9.7-inch iPad at 7-inch, making it almost on par with the iPad Pro. There is no true-depth camera system, though, so there's no Face ID or portrait mode. The front-facing camera is more advanced than the rear camera in some ways, supporting wide color capture and retina flash. The iPad Air features what Apple calls all-day battery, which means it lasts for up to 10 hours depending on task. That's the same battery life available across the iPad lineup. Like I said, the iPad Air charges through a lightning port at the bottom of the tablet that works with a Lightning to USB cable and included 12W USB power adapter. I hope that the new upgrade features will be a successor on the Apple iPad Air lineup. We look forward on the September 15 launch events. Well, having been said, please subscribe, like the video, comment. Thanks for watching.
JC Production. JC Production.